What's up, everybody? Noble Comics here, and today is the finale of the second Tournament of Power. Today it's going to be Naruto versus Obito. Now, Naruto in his recent match defeated Starkiller from Star Wars, and Obito defeated Luffy in his last match. A tragic upset. I really wanted Luffy to win, and I think he should have won. But hey, you all got to vote, so this is what we got now. And this is an interesting fight because it's a canon fight, right? These are both characters from the Naruto universe, both extremely powerful, extremely capable, and we'll go over all of their abilities, their skills, their advantages, and ultimately who would win if they were to fight. We'll start with Obito, and this is Orange Mask Obito. He does not have his Rinnegan here. So Obito obviously is an Uchiha who is integral in the plan of bringing Madara back to life. He's extremely powerful and has been for a very long time, since a young age. He has many different jutsus at his abilities, though since he is an Uchiha, right, his fire style ninjutsus are going to be his most powerful. He also has some genjutsus, which are sort of mental manipulation, right? We've seen him be able to overpower Jinchuriki. We've also seen him use different things like Izanagi, right? Which is essentially reality warping of having your illusions come to life. And of course, his taijutsu is nothing to scoff at, his hand-to-hand combat, as he's been able to rival people like Kakashi, who's one of the better hand-to-hand combatants in all of Naruto. He also has the Sharingan, which is a ocular jutsu, which essentially allows him to track his enemies easier and react faster. Though he does have a particular ability, right, with his Sharingan, that is the Mangekyo Sharingan that he has. And with this, he can use his Kamui ability, which makes him intangible, and that has been what has carried him through this entire bracket so far, is his intangibility. The fact that, for the most part, he can't be touched when it comes to up-close combat. Now, it's not really going intangible. We know that what the Kamui actually does is transport his body to a different dimension, essentially, a different time-space than what we're actually on now, so things seem to phase through him, which makes him very tricky to hit, as we've seen with pretty much anyone he's gone up against so far. But it does have a few weaknesses. One, if you are simply fast enough, like Minato was, you can react to it and you can capitalize on that. Or, if you have your own Kamui ability, you can sort of tether him to this plane and fight him there. Or if something is being intangible, like say a Rasengan, that can hit the intangible body part of Obito, because they're both existing on the same plane. So there are a few different ways you can get around it, but for the most part, you're essentially untouchable. And that, for the most part, has been Obito's character. We have seen some impressive physical displays from him, from his ninjutsu to his taijutsu, even some cool genjutsu stuff like the Izanagi. That has all been impressive, but the defining thing about his character is usually when he's fighting, it is this non-touchable approach that allows him to fight multiple very powerful ninja at once, right? Including Naruto, who we'll get to now. And this is Naruto. He is in Sage mode. He does have Kurama's chakra, but this is not full Kurama mode. He does not have the truth-seeking orbs, as those are not really his, right? He can't generate them or anything. And this form of Naruto is extremely fast and strong as well, similar to Obito. Again, we have seen them fight before. We know that they're at least on par. But we know Naruto's taijutsu's hand-to-hand combat is very good also. Like I said, he is very fast, strong, and durable. His chakra cloak can heal himself. And also, we've seen his chakra cloak be able to shield dozens of people at once from some very powerful jutsus. So we know his durability is extremely high. And we know that Naruto's signature abilities, he knows many different jutsus, but he really just likes to use two, right? He's got his Shadow Clone Jutsu, where he clones himself, right? He can do this for dozens and dozens of clones, and they are physical bodies that can attack and harm other people, though they are typically one-shot and not very strong, or durable, I should say. Then his other thing he likes to use, of course, is his Rasengan, which is a spiraling wind ball of chakra that does insane damage. And we've seen him use it to great success over the years, right, to absolutely crush and demolish his enemies. But he has different variations on that as well, like a mini beast bomb, or like a Rasen Shuriken, which is said to cut at the cellular level, it's so sharp, and other different forms of the Rasengan. So Naruto's typical approach is use his insane speed and strength to get in close to his opponent, Hand-to-hand combat's fine with him, but ultimately he's going to overwhelm you with his shadow clones, and he is going to crush you with a Rasengan, maybe with the help of his Chroma Cloak as well, which we have seen him use in the past to kind of help him in these fights. But that is typically how he operates, and I kind of sped through both of those because this is, again, a canon fight. We have seen these two fight before, and so the who would win is a little bit easier. Now, whenever we saw these characters fight, this was not Orange Mask Obito. This was, in fact, a more powerful version who had the Rinnegan, though he does not use the Rinnegan in this fight, so I think it's okay to talk about. But we saw Obito fight Naruto and Kakashi and Guy and Killer Bee all at the same time. It was here that Naruto actually learned what Obito's abilities are and how they work and everything like that, so we know that he at least has the knowledge of how to defeat him if he needed to. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Obito was powerful enough to fight all of them at once. And again, he wasn't using any abilities that are, disqualified from the Orange Mask Obito character that I have picked here. Though, to be fair, during this fight, Obito wasn't really counterattacking much. We never saw him deal a ton of damage to anybody. The one time he really tried, Naruto pretty easily deflected that attack. So it seems to me pretty clear that the Kamui ability of him being intangible, that's the main thing, is figuring out how to touch him. Because even whenever Kakashi 1v1 the guy, Kakashi beat him, right? So I don't think it's quite fair to say that, Obito could fight all of them at once, because he really can't. He can just not get touched by all of them at once. Like I said, no real counterattack. He wasn't, beating any of them up or anything. He was just hard to hit. But we did see him get hit a few times. And again, because we did see Kakashi help by using his own Kamui ability on different things like a Shuriken or like a Rasengan and transport them into this other dimension, while Obito was transferring parts of himself into the other dimension so that they could then connect and do damage. And again, Naruto knows this and understands how this works. Now, if we're looking stat to stat versus these people, I think Naruto probably has the advantage because, he's the main character. He's probably the most powerful shinobi, even though he's not at his peak form in this fight. Hand-to-hand combat, Obito may have an advantage, again, being able to go hand-to-hand with Kakashi, who I think is probably better than Naruto. Though, you could make the argument that Naruto's on par there as well. Speed-wise, I think they're at least on par because we've seen Obito dodge his attacks instantaneously as they're happening. So I don't think you can say either one of them has a real speed advantage over the other. Power output, from what we've seen, I'd say Naruto has a greater power output with his Rasengans than anything we've seen from Obito comparably. Though, of course, something like an Izanagi is extremely powerful, but not quite in the same way as a Rasengan is powerful. But that is an extremely powerful jutsu that he does have at his disposal. So, 1v1, who would win? I think it's very easy to say that Obito would win because, again, we've seen them fight in the past and Obito didn't lose. Naruto was, not really able to touch the guy. Kakashi really helped out with being able to do any damage to him at all. And Kakashi was ultimately able to defeat him, but Naruto, whenever they did fight, was not successful. So you could say that, Obito's fought all these guys at once, including Naruto, and didn't lose. Therefore, he would win. But I think not losing is different than winning, right? Because Obito is definitely, if there's any character who cannot lose, it's him, because he can't be touched. But that is different than winning the fight against Naruto. And again, we're not, people can say, Obito could just transport him to the different dimension and starve him there. It's I'm not doing BFR as a legitimate win. You actually have to win the fight in order to win the tournament. We're not doing BFR. And that said, I don't quite know how Obito wins the fight against Naruto. Now, we know Obito is very fast. We saw Minato be able to react and hit him when he was younger. We're assuming he's much faster than he was then now. So I don't know if the same thing would happen. But he can't just sit in Kamui forever, right? Eventually, he's got to slip up or make a move or something that Naruto would be able to capitalize on. And even if he doesn't, if Naruto, say, summons dozens of shadow clones, they've all got Sharingans, they're all charging him, as soon as Obito tries to maybe, warp one of them or dodge part of it, it's with all the clones attacking him all at once, he's going to be able to be attacked from both sides, both the physical plane and the dimensional plane, right? So I definitely can see a Naruto swarm tactic actually working here and overwhelming him. And that is how Naruto typically fights, right? That's been a successful strategy for him so far. So I do think that he can win. So I guess, like, all in all, the win condition for Obito is to stay in Kamui, to not get hit at all, and then either finish Naruto off somehow, because I don't think his jutsus are able to do it. Maybe like with an Izanagi thing, where he's warping reality, insta-kills Naruto. That's like the only way I see him winning. Versus Naruto winning, I think it's fighting how he normally fights, overwhelming him with his favorite jutsus, being able to react fast enough if Obito tries to make a play, which I think he's capable of. And so, which one of those is more likely to happen? I definitely think Naruto is more likely to have his win condition happen than Obito is for his win condition to happen. So I would have to say that Naruto wins, and therefore wins the entire tournament. But it's not up to me. You all get to go vote in the communities tab on my page. Go vote for who you want to win the finale and be crowned victor of the second Tournament of Power. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.